Yeah, thank you very much. Well, as the practitioner and organizers, artists, friends of you, and so my talk will not be kind of academic, will not be written or reading my text. I don't have any text to read, and no pictures to show. We will be just chatting, basically, as we usually do. Okay, as I said that the reason of organizing this conference is that because we have this 30 years experience of working together on and off. However, for all those experiences I have, I always come into my mind of the situation where we are. We are, I mean, the arts, the practice, the artists, the communities of the arts. And what I have seen that we get caught in between the two differences kind of institution. One is so-called the state, and the other one is so-called the public, which means the people. In this context, it's a little bit different than in the West. When you're talking about public, you mean the government. When we're talking about, but here when we're talking about public, it means the people. It has something to do with the government. And so the artist is, for me, we are in between that two. First of all, we are produced of the state. The state consists of the Ministry of Culture, the money, and the institutions who produce us. We are the production of the state's institution in order to produce the arts to serve the official arts. The recognitions of the official arts is changes from time to time. It changes from one stage to the other. It also changes very slowly. The second part is the states also want the artists to make the public understand what is the official wants them to understand about art. No matter artists can do that efficiently, or not at all. It's not the interest of the states, because the states has already have that order. For instance, when we are organizing the Asiatopia in the first place in 1998, we were asked by the government of Bangkok, who gave us the money, of who will come to see the festival. I said that the artists from overseas will see, and the people who are in the park will see, and maybe some of the press will cover it. Okay, they agree of these three groups of people who will recognize our activities, which is funded by the government. So in this case, the government is only interested in how the public would recognize the institution support of such activities. In the same times, when we are already produced, we become our independent individual artists working in these states, which I will talk about the states later. We are producing or we are creating as they said. But for me, I think we are producing something individually engageable with our own peers, our own communities, our own colleagues. We are not really interested in the public. We don't care whether the people who look at our works would understand what we are doing. We don't really care whether the states will understand what we are doing, but we will be happy if the states give us the money. And that is the fact, the phenomenon. The public, for me, I think the public in Southeast Asia is quite similar. I've been to the village outside Jogja, I've been to the village outside Manila, I've been to, well, not in Singapore, there's no village. In Malaysia, in Vietnam, and in other places. I don't see that people are that much different. They welcome us, they are very, very friendly, but when you tell them that you are an artist, oh, okay. They don't even ask what we are doing. But if we go to the West, when you tell them you are an artist, they will ask, are you dancers? Are you singers? Are you painters? Are you sculptors? But in Asia, they don't ask. Artist? Okay, artist. Okay, fine, And also the recognition is up to your individual. The public here, I think, is very much into the individual. They respect of what you say, who you are, and they don't ask further. This is the phenomenon of the public, as far as I understand, as far as I have the experience. In the same times, we are living in the society that the states are conducting. Okay. The state is not providing a service. The state is conducting the society. The state expecting the people in the states in different levels to serve according to the state's wants. We are the artists. We're supposed to promoting the country livelihoods, the nice sceneries, the beauty of our traditions, cultures, or even to promote what they call the creativities of our society. The states in Southeast Asia are we can call half dictatorship. No, they said half democracy. This is more likely. Well, you cannot say half dictatorship because dictatorship has no half. Only democracy allows half. And within this framework of half democracy, we adjusting ourselves to fit into the framework of that half. And we ignore the other half. Which half that we are playing with is the half of the civil society. The artists in Southeast Asia are working quite closely with the activists, working very closely with the community who have confronted with the issues of development. When developments come to the community outside Bangkok, or even in Bangkok at the moment, we are facing with the new development of Chao Phraya River, and the community are not very happy with the new development that should take place. For instance, the government wants to make the walkway. They said this policy is to have accessible to Chao Phraya for all, accessibility to the river for all. which means that the community that used to be living next to the river will be removed or will be changed in some way. We don't know yet how it's going to be. And this is so-called the development. And the artist has working with the community. The architect has been working with the community in order to fight back and to give the feedback to the government. So the artist and the public in this case become one component. Okay, for the state point of view, we are one component. We are not the artist and the public confronted with the states. But when the states coming to us, they come with departments. So because the states has more power than we do, the states have control of all the budgets, the states have control of all these policies, the state have control of the policy makings in the Congress, in the Parliament. You know, so the state imposing the law, and we are obliged to follow the law. When our friends in Vietnam organizing the performance festival in Hanoi, the states cannot give approval for such and activities, so they organized the festival in private house, and it was raided in the middle of the of the festival, and the whole event is shut down. And this is because of the states have certain recognition. In the same time, the states want to have the control. In Thailand, we are a little bit lucky because the state has no interest in art. So we can do whatever we want to do, the state without the recognition what art is. We get away with it. When I organized the performance festival in my village, people recognizing that we are doing our things, they come and they look and they walk away. Sometimes they come and spend some time with us, and then they walked away. They never ask what this means. They never want to know what we are doing means. They might enjoy it. They're looking at the surprise, but I think they have this kind of recognitions of our freedoms to do things in their area. They never tell me what is right and what is wrong, what you can do and what you cannot do. So in Southeast Asia, I think we have two components of the society to deal with. One is the people that we are confronting in everyday lives, and the other one is the state. I used to think that if we can work far away from the central government, I might be more secure or have more freedom to do whatever I wanted to do. But at the same time, when you do things in the closer community, we're confronted with the abbots of the temple. We're confronted with the Kamnan, the head of the district. We confronted with the head of the village. There were 4 heads of the village in one village of only 200 people. And then we have individuals' houses with no doors. So you don't really know where is the public space and where is the private space. And the cows can come to your house, and eat all your grasses and things. So we are actively like a cow. We can work like a cow. We can. I told them, okay, your cow is coming to my house, it's not your fault, it's your cow's fault. But at the same time, I can go into your house and perform it. It's not, I will be acting like a cow. And that is okay, for the matter of negotiation. Right? But with the states, you cannot do that. So in a way, I think so far the experience of the artists who are organizing in this region, I assume, okay, at least one is me. We don't work with the states. We are working with the public. And it's much easier to deal with the public. And it's much easier to ignore the states. Because when you deal with the states, you have a lot of paper to work with, for one thing. And the second thing, you have the law to follow. And three things that you have to deal with, the questions that were asked, who is coming to your festival. Okay, we give them the list of these people. Okay, they all come from Asia, they're not interested. They need people who come from Europe, from Germany, from Finland, from Australia, from United States, from England. But if you said from Malaysia, from Singapore, from Indonesia, from the Philippines, they are not tourists. These people from Myanmar, even, most of the Myanmar who are here are workers. So we don't take our people, in this skin color, as a tourist. We are not providing the country economy, and we are not and we are not. How you call? We're not contributing to the progress of the society. But if you come and you giving us the money, then you can allow us to progress our livelihood. And this is the states, the mentality of the states. In Thailand, and I assume that also in Indonesia and in the Philippines and probably in Malaysia and Singapore. So what I lay out here is the experience that I have gathered throughout the time that I'm working as organizer in Asiatopia, and also I've been working closely, with my friends in the region, and I think that we are not just organizing an event for us, but we also try to understand how our relationships to whatever's out there. So what I'm trying to understand is whether we are the arts of the public, or we are the arts for the public, or we are just minorities who try to conduct our own rituals. Thank you.